Lesson 10, the effect of extremes. Our aim today is let's manipulate data sets with extreme values. 10.1, Battle Royale. Several video games are based on a genre called Battle Royale, in which 100 players are on an island and they fight until one player remains. It is crowned the winner. This type of game can often be played in solo mode, as individuals, or in team mode in groups of 2. Alright, number 1. What information would you use to determine the top players in each mode? Solo and team. Explain your reasoning. Alright, so basically this is a game where a bunch of people get on an island and they kill each other. And then whoever's the last person standing is the winner. Sort of like the Hunger Games, I guess, if you've ever read that book. So think about how you might want to measure something like that. I mean, maybe you've never played a game like this. I've never played any games like this, but I can still think of ways that we could choose who the winner or loser is. So go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, so the ways I'm thinking about it is if there are probably a few ways you can measure the best player. So if you're the last person who's standing is the winner, then that person has been playing the game for the longest. So you could have the most time played. That could be one way to show someone who's played more than another person has been alive for more. Obviously, if you were looking at it over the span of a few games, you would want to divide the total time you played by the number of games. So if I played 3 games and I played 12 minutes total, I'd want to divide by 3 to get, I spent about 4 minutes in each game. So that might be one way. Another more obvious way is how many kills. The point of the game is to fight until you're the last player alive. So, I mean, how many people did you beat to be in the spot you're in? Sort of a cynical way to crown the victor, but I guess that's kind of how history works in some ways. Talk to Mr. Devery about that. Mr. Bradshaw. How else? I don't know what team is, but I guess, is there any way you can... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you would measure how well you help your partner. I guess accuracy could be another way. Percentage. What percentage of the times you actually hit the opponent? And, yeah, I mean, that's what I can think of. 3 things at the top of my head. 2. One person claims that the best solo players play Game A. Another person claims that Game B has better solo players. How could you display data to help inform their discussion? Explain your reasoning. So a lot of times people have arguments, right? And it's just sort of who can yell the loudest to see who wins. Well, how could you actually prove that you're right using what we've learned about data over the past 4 lessons? Okay, so one way I think of, and there could be several ways that we can do this, but I would compare 2 graphs. So I could do that a multitude of ways. Let's see how it would look with a dot plot. With the dot plot, I could use 2 different colors to show the 2 different games. Let's say pencil's Game A and this purple pen is Game B. Let's say these are kills that they get a game. I know, really, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll say this is the black. The pencil for Game A, and then Game B looks a little bit more like this. Right. Here we can see that with the purple graph, we get most of the people getting 3 or 4 kills. Whereas here with the Game A, you see that most of them only get 2 or 3. Another way we could show this is on a histogram. A box plot. Same idea. All right, if I look at a box plot like so, right, that's sort of towards the beginning of the graph. If I get a box plot like this, all right, most of the values in the interquartile range, right, the IQR, are up towards 4 and 5. This one down here at 2 and 3 is lower. So, graphs are an excellent way that you can compare data sets, and you see it all the time in the news. So it's very important that you understand how to read a graph, tell if it's biased or not, tell if it's actually, it means what they're saying it means, and be able to interpret it. All right, that's all for 10.1.